All right, folks, here we go for part two. So last video I said I got 20 rolls of pennies from my local bank, doing them in two groups of 10, what I normally do. And the last video for the 20 rolls or the 10 rolls that were wrapped here, I actually had 11, and the next 10 rolls are in these wrappings. So we're hoping that the new wrappings are going to be doing better, but I wanted to get this last one customer wrapped roll done. Of course, I'm going to have problems here. And we're just going again real quick on these. I'll check for varieties, doubles, any unique fun finds. Off camera here, but for the most part, we're just looking at coppers. We're looking for, of course, Wheaties. 2009 key dates. Oh, well, that didn't work. Let's try that again. Clean that up. So a lot of decent amount of coppers. Now that it's 2024, I need to look at for those as well, just to complete my set and see what we find here. 1980s. I pull out all my 82s on here. That's an interesting toning and corrosion. That's a 2020, if you could believe it. It's pretty ugly for a 2020. 82s I do keep separate. On that, 1881, 2023. That's Denver. We'll look for the VDBD V, if I can talk. And of course, any kind of upgrades that might be around 65. Interesting. 17. And like I said, we're just going to do this real quick for this last roll. It took us, what was that, 10 rolls. It was roll 10 before I got my first wheat out of that, so I'm not expecting much out of these rolls. And like I said, just pulling out all the cappers here. I'll look for any of the doublings and die variations off camera. Bring that back in if anything is found. See on that one, 80. Some of these are really dark. Parking lot find there. Wow, talk about corrosion. Yeah, that is a penny. Doubt I'll find a date on that one. It's a good condition. 1976 Denver. Oh, focus isn't the best there, but not too bad. Let's see if we can maybe get that a little bit closer there for you. Yeah. And as expected, I wasn't expecting much out of that roll. Now, I've got 9 rolls that are wrapped in this wrap. Let's see what kind of condition we're going to have in here. So it looks like a pretty good mix, probably the same. Nothing really sticking out for me yet, but we'll just, like I said, just go through this real quick, and then I'll look at them a little bit closer offline. Love the look of these cappers. 1960. Just like the look of those. These are all, the new ones are nice and shiny. But there's something to the capper coin that keeps them unique, keeps them interested. looks like that was caked in something there. Alright, so we're getting closer here. Decent amount of copper in here. Definitely keeping good look for those. Some of the varieties out of there. I'm running out of room, but yep. No wheats at this point. Decent amount of corrosion. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take you out, bring you back for any of the finds. Alright, folks, this is just a fun find, nothing extremely worthwhile, but you know, despite the little bit of corrosion there. Take a look at the "In God We Trust" right along here. I'm going to see the word trust a little bit with "we." See how good my focus is going to be on this. If I zoom in, that TR is right at the rim. I'm sure some of that's going to be post mint damage, and it's just rubbed in there. Try and get a good one, but you lose the top of the T and the top of the R there. And then, so not really off center. If you look at the other side, it's got a little thicker border. Thick border over here, a little bit thinner, but yeah, that's I'll have to look at that, get a microscope on that to see how much is post mint damage and how much of that is actual off center strike. And that is a 1968 Denver when we look at that. So just a little bit, words are coming a little bit off on that. Alright, roll number 5 gives us our first significant find. I'll call it that one. Came up with the obverse up. And let's zoom in here a little bit. Looking at 1957. Can't tell. It looks like it might be a Denver mint mark. And look at that. There's our Wheatie. Good condition. Nothing significant sticking out on that. So first find, second find I should say, but first Wheatie, roll number 5. And roll number 5 comes up with a second find. Flip that over. That is a Queen Elizabeth Canadian. I do like my Canadians. Let's see what kind of date we're looking at here. This flips that way. Hey! Yes! Not often to see that one, but even better, a bird scent on that. Oh, wow. So that's 1967. That was a significant year for the Canadians. What was that? The sesquicentennial? 1867 to 1967, so centennial. And that is a bird scent. That's a good find there. Happy for that one. Roll 5's going 2. Here we are on roll number 6, and our second Wheatie on here, obverse 1946 Philly. Flip that over. There it is. There is the Wheatie. Good condition overall on that one. Looks pretty average circulated. Nice brown color. There it is, 1946. Alright folks, here we go with roll number 7. Zoom in, bring that a little bit closer. Nice condition, look at that, nice and shiny. This might actually be an upgrade. This is, oh, I can never remember which one's which now. I think this is the presidential year for 2009. So let's see what year it is. Came up reverse here. 2009 Philly. This side's not as pretty, but 2009 definitely a keeper. Alright folks, here we go. Roll number 7, find number 2, Canadian. Coming up, it's a modern 1989. A wee bit corroded, so it's definitely not an upgrader, but just another foreign coin. And look at that folks. Find number 3, still in roll number 7. This gives us another Wheatie here. Obverse coming up. That is a 1942. Just missed that steel cent era, but 1942. There's the wheat back. Looking good condition. Alright, we're getting better the further we get into these 10 rolls. Much better than the first 10. I was nervous about. Obverse here. Showing up. And that is a 1944 Denver. Obviously no doubling. You got the close to the rim strike L on that side. But I think that's just going to be, see if I can zoom in here a little bit more. Yeah, you can see how you start losing that L on the rim, but that's just probably wear, just pushing over on the side there. Not a true rim strike. And there we go for the back side. Wear and tear, but you can still see some of it. So 1944 Denver Wheatie. Alright, second find for roll number 8. Foreign, we got a Canadian here, Elizabeth II. Bit of corrosion on the end. And there, so nice dark with that corrosion, I'm going to assume. An older date, let's take a look here. 1962. So 1962 Canadian. We go for find number 3 in roll 8. Another 2009 early years, I think that's the name of it. Log cabin there. Pretty good condition. Flip that over. That side not so pretty. A little bit, but 2009 Denver. So second 2009. Alright folks, here we go on roll number 10. I'll bring you back in live to go through this together. And I was just realizing as I was going through all of these pennies, you know, some of the varieties I'm still learning. Some of these close AM, far AM, wide AMs. I'm not familiar with all the years, so I'm just looking for, might have to go back through and check out some of those varieties again. Just realizing that I may have forgotten. I pulled up a list here. 92, 96, 98. I can never remember them all. So I got to refocus that. Pennies aren't my big one to look for. I do like my nickels and I do like my quarters. Pennies is something my dad used to collect. He liked his Wheaties, and I'm just double checking, you know, completing his more than anything, what he started. But like this, 1998, looking for a wide AM, and it looks like it's got more of a grease error onto it. But you know, how do you determine that? They're pretty much touching. So yeah, it just takes a little more time for this, and in many cases, just not my thing. Not my cup of tea to spend that much. I want to look for the wheat cents. There's another 96 wide AM. I figure if I can't see it or recognize it right off the bat, Well, that's where a microscope would probably be more handy. 92 Philly, close AM. See, now that one I could see the space in between. So, yeah, I'm still learning. 96. It's close. Looking for wide and just trying to remember those. So it's not something I normally look at as a general rule of thumb. Like you said, makes time go by quicker. What's 96? I'm looking for a wide AM. And yeah, I'll get there. 20, and I shouldn't say surprisingly. I haven't seen any San Francisco mints for as much copper as I'm getting out of this group, or these 10 rolls. Not a single San Francisco. Hey, there's find coming up here. Roll number 10. It's giving us another Canadian, very beat up parking lot find, and that's looking like a 1998. Beat up, but it's a Canadian nonetheless. We'll add that to my Canadian collection. Yeah, so I mean, for the varieties for the modern Lincoln 1959 to date, I've got a complete set, except for 2024 because those were just out. So really, with these modern ones, I'm just looking for any kind of obvious doubling or errors that I know of. I'm sure there's going to be plenty that I don't know of when it comes to these coins. San Francisco's, of course, and then for what was I saying? So yeah, for me, it's mostly just 58 and earlier, just looking for those wheat cents to complete that book. I should complete my dad's book. And then here's another 69. Yep, Denver. A lot of Denvers, considering it would have expected more Philly in my area, just closer to that mint. And yeah, no Wheaties in roll 10. So, alright, I'm going to finish cleaning this up and we'll bring you back for the summary. Alright, here we are for the summary of our 10 customer wrapped bank rolls. Again, I got those 20 rolls. 10 were in one style wrapping. The second 10, 11 through 20, were in a different style wrapping. And I unwrapped those, and this is what I found. So pretty consistent. This actually had more finds than the first 10. 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, and then all my 82. There's about 11 or 12 82s in there. All in all, roughly 26% of the rolls were copper. That first 10, I believe you could look at the last video, I believe there were 22% of the rolls ended up being copper. So pretty consistent, about a quarter of the rolls. But we had better finds. We had much more finds in this one. So we had 2009, 2009 Lincoln. We had the birth and early childhood years, and we had his professional life. Both Denver? Nope, Denver and Philadelphia. I'm going to see if any of those are upgrades. This might be an upgrade. This one I know for sure will not be. We did have 4 wheat cents. So we had a 1942 Philly, 1944 Denver, 1946, every other year, pretty nice. Philly. And then in 1957, the last year that the wheat cents were available, 1957 Denver. So we had 4 wheat cents out of that roll. Special find, I need to take a look a little bit closer. I might just wrap this because the research that I've done on this has not yielded what I expected. But when we're looking at that upper ring, the "In God We Trust" is, I don't know if you'd consider that a rim, rim strike, if that's just worn over a little bit. But if you really look at the "we" and the TRUS, that's right up against the rim to the point you almost don't see the top of the T in trust, and you're missing the top of the E in "we." So I'm going to probably just put that one in a flip just because it's neat. It's potential. Again, I don't have a good microscope to really take a look to see if it's just damage. That's a 1968 Denver. So that one would probably go in a flip just for unique finds. And then our Canadian collection. We had 5 Canadians. Probably the most important, and I always love finding them, is we did find a bird scent. So that is, the bird scent is that 1967, I believe. We also have a 62 and then modern 82, 89, and 98 parking lot finds there. But the bird scent and that 62, I'm going to double check on those for my Canadian folders. Those are good, but I just always like finding that bird scent. So those were the finds. Hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to click subscribe, click like. We do like putting this if you want to see me do more videos like this. And any comments. I appreciate feedback is a gift, is my saying. So provide some feedback if you have any thoughts on lighting, on the cinema photography, fancy word there, any of the filming of this. If you want to share stories on your finds, whether Canadian or U.S. coinage and your Wheaties, I'd love to hear from you and hear your stories. So make those comments down below. Have a wonderful night.